So we see that our midpoint formula is this ordered pair, x1 plus x2 over 2, comma, y1 plus y2 over 2. And we could use the same thing above if we wanted. We could let A be x1, y1, and B be x2, y2. Then the midpoint would be x1 plus x2 over 2, comma, y1 plus y2 over 2. This gives us 4 over 2, comma, 2 over 2, which is the ordered pair 2, comma, 1. And that matches with what we found above. You can honestly go either way. You can graph it and figure it out from there, or you can use the formula. It's whatever you feel most comfortable with. But let's talk about an equation that you really do need to know, and that's the Pythagorean Theorem. The Pythagorean Theorem applies to right triangles. So we're going to draw a right triangle here. There's our right angle. And it tells us that a squared plus b squared equals c squared, where a and b are the legs of the right triangle, and c is the hypotenuse. This is an essential equation. You need to know the Pythagorean theorem. And I'll show you why right now. We're going to go back to looking at these 2 points here, although we have a different ordered pair, I think, this time. So let's plot these on our graph. Again, we want to make sure that we label our axes and number them properly. Alright, we have point A at 2, 3, and point B at 4, negative 1. I can connect these 2 points, and I want the length of AB, so I want to know the length of this segment here. The key to figuring this out is to use your Pythagorean theorem. You want to draw a right triangle where this distance goes from 2 to 4, so this is a length of 2, and then here we go from negative 1 up to 3, so that's a length of 4. Then the Pythagorean theorem tells us a squared plus b squared equals c squared, where c is my hypotenuse, and that's actually what I'm looking for in this problem. So I see that 4 squared plus 2 squared equals ab squared. 16 plus 4 equals ab squared. So ab squared is going to equal 20. ab equals the square root of 20, which, if you have your nifty calculator, which you all should, you can then realize that the square root of 20 is approximately 4.721. Just like we saw with midpoint, there is a formula you can use if you want to. The distance formula, if your first point is x1, y1, and your second point is x2, y2, then the distance formula is the square root of x1 minus x2 squared. Or you can reverse these. You can do x2 minus x1. It actually doesn't matter as long as you're consistent with both your x's and your y's. Plus y2 minus y1 squared. So this formula works, so does this formula. x1 minus x2 squared and y1 minus y2 squared, and then take the whole square root of that number. We could try to apply that to what we have up above, where we have x1, y1, x2, y2. Then the distance is the square root of 2 minus 4 squared plus 3 minus negative 1 squared. This gives me the square root of 4 plus 16, which is the square root of